and welcome back to another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. This is the show where I do quick reviews for the movies that I watch, give them a score out of 10, and then add them to my list. So let's see what movie we're reviewing today. On March 22nd, I watched Delivery Man, which came out in 2013. Vince Vaughn stars here, in what I very much expected to be a more straightforward comedy, but instead turned out to be only about 10% comedy and 90% drama. He plays David, a fairly below-average man, who completely unbeknownst to him, has fathered some 533 children, all resulting from his copious donations to a sperm bank he made to pay his way through college. He earned over 24 grand under the pseudonym Starbuck with his 693 donations, but the clinic messed up and only used his product for an extended period of time, and that's how he got the 533 kids. And now that they're all legal age, 142 of those kids have filed a class action lawsuit against the clinic to reveal his identity. It makes for a very interesting and original setup for a movie. It opens a lot of doors to deep questions both morally and legally. And the discussions and debates between personal privacy and the moral responsibility he has to his children definitely makes up the majority of this film's tone, but I still wish the climactic courtroom scene itself could have been explored in greater detail and more fundamental to the story. Even with the way it was presented, slightly cut up, and almost in the classic montage format, with the music playing in the background, it was still one of my favorite parts of the film, because I always enjoy these ethical versus legal debates. I tend to prefer those dry courtroom-style debates to deal with these topics as opposed to the emotional, character-driven arguments that this movie tends to make. But personal preferences aside, I still think that courtroom scene should have been a good 10 minutes longer, with no distracting music, and the whole thing would have worked much better for me. Chris Pratt plays the lawyer and best friend Brett, and while he seems a bit miscast as the lawyer, he can always seem like a genuinely friendly guy. But as the not-so-savvy lawyer and really good friend, he makes for some of the biggest laughs. It's a smart move for a drama-comedy crossbreed to stick mainly with one genre and just sprinkle in a bit of the other, and that's clearly the role Pratt was made to play, as he can be taken seriously, but always adds just enough of his own personal charm to make the serious stuff go down easier. Something I remember John Candy being marvelous at, and now that I've had that thought out loud, I just want Chris Pratt to play all those same kind of roles in the future. I'm not saying I want to see them remade, but since everything's getting a reboot nowadays anyways, if they're going to remake The Great Outdoors or Uncle Buck, my vote is definitely for Chris Pratt. But Delivery Man mainly centers around David finally trying to grow up and do the right thing for once in his life. A pretty common formula for Vince Vaughn vehicles. But the uniqueness to the setup and Vaughn's comfortably consistent performance as the lovable idiot man-child somehow kept this one feeling fresh and new. Vince Vaughn was probably destined by face and voice alone to always get cast as this type of character. I have no idea if he's anything like this in real life, but I've seen him portray this type of person so much, it would be difficult to process him being in anything dramatically different. I know I need to check out True Detective, but I'm fully expecting it to be difficult to take him seriously. Vince Vaughn and Chris Pratt very much carry this film, as the supporting cast was a real letdown for me, especially given the near infinite opportunities created through this clever setup, and having no mention at all of the birth mother means the kids can look basically like anything they want under the rainbow, even including a black girl and a crippled boy, so everyone can be included. Ultimately though, too much of David's time is monopolized by one of his kids, Vigo, played by Adam Chandler Barrett. And I get that the movie wanted to use his character to make the emotional argument, but I still would have much rather more time spent developing the counter-argument, so when David makes the final decision that we all know he was always going to make, it could have felt like a bigger, tougher decision. In the same way building a stronger villain can make the hero seem stronger for defeating him, the argument for personal privacy should have been more forcefully made, rather than still having the always enjoyable Chris Pratt make a light-hearted montage that was really more about impressing his mother-in-law and getting laughs. Still, this was not what I was expecting from a Vince Vaughn movie, so overall, I was pleasantly surprised with this one. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 10, and it landed at number 971 on my list, putting it right here, in between Insomnia and 1998's Godzilla. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. Be sure to click like and subscribe for new videos every week. And if you have a movie that you really want me to watch, be sure to drop me a comment.